there's just so much to her, and I want to explore that. And I know that we're not going to be able to do it in one movie, but hopefully if we get to do another, we'll see more sides to her. And that's why I was very excited about the sixth movie.
Scream the musical on Broadway.
Sign me up.
I'll play Chad.
And I'll play Gail.
It really is some sort of magic, right? That we can enjoy something that's so horrible, base, horrible. And then the Scream franchise just plays that over on itself in so many cycles and so many generations that it's created its own weather system in the horror universe, right?
WoW is terrible. WoW, you hated it? You hate us? What's going on?
Oh my God, no. Like, this is the best sequel since part 2, frankly.
Thank you.
Sir, please help me.
That's a lot of stuff to take on, by the way. I mean, you're kind of headlining this baby. How has this experience been for you?
It's been a roller coaster ride. It's been insane. I feel very fortunate, and it's very surreal still to think about it that way.
Mhm.
I just I try to focus on the work that I have to do, and try to be the most honest that I can with this character so that it resonates with people and people connect with her. I feel like I was given a huge gift, to be a part of a franchise that I love, get to work with actors that I've grown up watching and I admire, and get to like infuse my own little thing in a character, and that is gonna, be remembered as in 2 movies out of this franchise is incredible. I feel very grateful.
Oh, I wouldn't count out 2 movies. You're going to be doing more. I'm sure of this. Look, this is there's a lot to dig into with this character. And I don't think that's necessarily the usual for a slasher film. What has it been like kind of finding Sam Carpenter and finding that kind of the layers that you have to deal with?
It's been incredible, because you're right. I feel like it is not very common in slashers to have that many layers to a character, or to have that much, meat in it, with the relationships with the other characters, and then the quiet moments amidst all the chaos. I get a lot to play with, which is why I was attracted to Sam in the first place. When I read the fifth movie script, I was like, there's just so much to her, and I want to explore that. And I know that we're not going to be able to do it in one movie, but hopefully if we get to do another, we'll see more sides to her. And that's why I was very excited about the sixth movie, because we get to see a more vulnerable Sam, a more scared Sam, a Sam that doesn't have those walls up anymore, that is all like tough and like, no emotion, and kind of just like protecting herself from this like secret. Now that the secret's out and that something broke, what does that do to a person, and how does she deal with that? And so I had a lot to play with, and great people to play opposite of, to explore those relationships. And so it was a gift, and I'm so grateful that you get to have a movie that still feels like Scream, but has so much depth to it in like the characters and their trauma that they're going through.
And what a lovely relationship you've built with Olivia. This is really a nice. Was that instant? Did you feel that? Because it's really grown in this film. It really has.
With who? With Jenna?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, absolutely. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's been great to get to explore that Tara and Sam sister relationship, and it really has become about the sister story.
Right.
It's all about like them, and how after they've come together, how they stay together, even though Sam is dealing with this temptation for darkness, and what that does with Tara's own view of the world, and how she wants to move forward, and the friction that creates. And I think because Jenna is such a brilliant actor and such a beautiful human, we connected very deeply from the beginning, and so getting to play all those quiet moments with her and those like intimate moments with her feel very natural, and I think the sister story is very believable and a lot of people can connect to it.
It's really great. This is a fantastic film. Congratulations, and we got a wrap.
I had this secret. There's a darkness inside of me. It followed me here. And it's gonna keep coming for us. We share a certain history.
Guys, this is a really good movie. I'm so like, here's the thing. Doing a scary movie is scary enough. You guys are continuing on in a franchise beloved by many people as new characters that were just introduced, and now you're becoming a part of the show, regulars. Is that scary enough? That seems terrifying.
Right.
It is. It's scary because these fans are so passionate about this franchise, and they've been consistently showing up, and they've been rooting for us. I remember last year there were some fans that tweeted us like, I bought 10 tickets for the movie this weekend because I really believe in you and I want to see another one. And we don't want to let them down.
That's
we
right.
want to do right by everybody.
I mean, it really is coming, and it's like a marriage really of indoctrinating yourself into a fan base and into a legacy that came before you in such a way that you hope you just respect and can contribute to what came before you, and to watch the fans kind of adopt it and be so encompassing and sweet about it has been maybe the most rewarding aspect. And I remember we went theater hopping for the first movie. Yes, it was myself, Melissa, and Sonia, and one of the patrons watching the movie had said they were on a tear, basically seeing it over and over again. We caught him on his 12th.
Oh,
No, he literally was there from the morning and just saw it over and over and over and over and over. He's like, I'm trying to see it like 20 times.
so kind.
I know, it was really great. And if I could remember his name, I want to say it was like David, but that might be wrong.
That's cool. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
It was
Well,
really
That's
cool.
really sweet.
I mean, I do have to ask this before we don't have a whole lot of time, but Jasmin, I need to know, how much horror knowledge do you have before and now do you have now?
Okay, look, I'm going to be honest. I don't have the most horror knowledge of everybody in this room. I do, however, know a bit about Broadway, know a bit about Cats, know a bit about Cats, the Broadway musical. You know what I mean? So I've got my own brand of
Niche.
expertise.
You're
There you go.
Me and
What about you,
Melissa.
Madison? What about you?
I've got a pretty robust horror understanding.
Would you be in a horror musical? Scream the musical on Broadway.
Sign me up.
I'll play Chad.
And I'll play Gail.
How you doing, Jimmy O?
I'm good, buddy. You know what's really funny? I've been following your career for forever, actually. I've been a fan of yours for a long time, which I think I've told you before. I only talk to you for horror. You're doing a lot of this lately.
It's an emerging talent, late in the game kind of deal. They're making a lot of horror movies, and we're a little bit back to making different size types of movies.
Yeah.
So this is kind of an exception for me that I'm in a franchise that's a studio film. So it's such an interesting time in between how people view things, streaming and smaller movies kind of sometimes getting a foothold again, like it used to happen with indies. So we're hoping that trend continues all across. And it's just people are crazy for horror movies too.
Well, I think it's also like horror has always been one of those things where it feels politically valid. It feels like what we're living in, kind of when we're afraid, when we're freaked out by what's going on in the world, we can go see a masked killer go slashing victims, and we're like, oh, cool, okay, at least it's not that bad.
It really is some sort of magic, right? That we can enjoy something that's so horrible, base, horrible. And then the Scream franchise just plays that over on itself in so many cycles and so many generations. that it's created its own weather system in the horror universe, right?
And now
Amazing.
you're part of that, man. You're part of this.
Incredible. I know. I've really never been. Well, there's a couple of times where I've joined up on a cast that's already successful. Shameless comes to mind. New Girl, I just visited right when it was at its most popular. So it does happen, and it's a very nice sensation, I must admit. And in this case, this young cast is just so phenomenal. You can see them all peaking in their careers in the same moment, even outside of the Scream verse. So everyone's just wonderful to work with. So I'll be fans of everyone going forward. Can't wait to see what else they bring. All of them. So cool.
What's it like working with these? The directors of this film have done some really, really marvelous stuff. What was it like working with them and finding kind of delving into this world?
I enjoyed it so much. I gave them a lot. Gave them a lot of trouble all along, and it's hard to not do that now about them being co-directors. I have a whole rant that I'll save you because it's kind of lengthy, but if they ever see this interview, they know which one I'm talking about. But then the truth is that it was a remarkable way to work, and their combined talent is just so much a part of these movies. And even the way they did post-production and got it together so quickly, even while we're shooting during the social health crisis, is just remarkable. Not just hardworking, but so dedicated and so smart. Then you have to be to make all that humor and horror time out. Just so you have to be like a wizard, and they are. So that's the truth of it. But if you ask me again, I'll tell you about this, and they need to, one of them could take half a day off and all that. But,
well, dude, you're remarkable in it too. It's a great film. Loved it. And we got wrapped. It's a pleasure talking to you again.
I'll
buddy.
see you again soon. Thank you so much.
Can't wait, man. See you later.
Appreciate it.
You're like the 10th guy to try this, right? It never works out for the dipshit in the mask.
Maybe. But there's never been one like me, Gail.
Jimmy O from Joblo. Guys, wow. Wow. First off, I want to thank you both.
Well, wow is terrible. Wow, you hated it? You hate us? What's going on?
Oh my God, no. Like this is the best sequel since part 2, frankly.
Thank you.
And you made a proper reference to a certain other mask maniac at some point. I don't want to give that away, but thank you.
There are a few on the subway too.
How the hell did you guys come up with this story and make it work as well as it does? It's hard enough to bring it into New York and not mess it up. This is really good, guys. Let's Tyler, start with you.
Well, look, I think we have to give a lot of credit to Guy and Jamie. It was their crazy brains that decided, well, we did the homage thing. We paid respect to the lineage. What's the left turn? Let's bring it out of Woodsboro and set it in New York. And I think that immediately the number of ideas, the amount of inspiration that comes from just the location change alone there was just a different variety of fuel in the engine for this movie. And then I think that one of the things that really ended up being just such a benefit for how quickly the process moved from 5 to 6 was we love the idea of setting the story right on the heels of the previous movie. It felt like everything the characters were going through, what they were experiencing emotionally, was still really raw, right? There wasn't time for them to move on with their lives. They're very much sort of trapped in the reality of dealing with the events of the last movie. And that for us was just a really raw and interesting place to visit the characters emotionally. And so the sort of combination of those things, it just felt like big energized story, a lot of opportunity for great action set pieces. And then at the core, this real emotional found family story that is kind of bolstering all of that.
Nice. And now, Matt, I'm gonna give you this one to you. The violence level. Oh my goodness. I mean, you guys win for it. These are brutal stabbings. How did you know how far you should go with this?
I feel like we always, when we're shooting, go too far and then figure out in the edit a slightly lower level.
Yeah, there's some stuff on the cutting room floor. That's
Yeah, there's
pretty-
a lot longer versions. There's definitely an X-rated version out there that we really don't want to see, but you know, it's not in the movie for a reason. But yeah, I mean, we like to go basically as far as you can with this, and then a little bit farther. And with this one, we really wanted to, again, what Tyler was just saying about New York, just get that energy all the way up, so that you know that goes into the killings and the stabbings. It's intense, as you well know.
Yes. No, I gotta say this, you guys are building a whole new mythology for a whole new audience here, but it works really well. Is this something, have you plotted something out? Do you know where you'd go next?
It's a good question. Guy and Jamie, I think probably in the back part of their minds have some sense of where the story could go and how it could arc out in a kind of longer timeline. But I think one of the things that we love about those guys, and one of the things that we've really tried to do is make sure that all the good ideas that you have end up in the movie that you're making, right? That you're not saving that cool thing or that cool character turn for something down the line, that if it feels right and it makes sense, to use it. I know we don't love that when you watch something and it feels like you've watched a feature length version of a trailer for the movie that you actually want to see. And I think that Guy and Jamie are really good about starting the characters at a point in the story where it's the most interesting, the most juicy, and you have the most opportunity to just spill all of the good ideas into that one batch of soup.
Nice. Well, guys, we got to wrap it. Really tremendous job here. Seriously.
Thank you. That means so much.